If you're a coach or a consultant doing between 7 and 15,000 a month and you're still stuck at 0 to 2 calls per week, this video is for you. Over the next 20 minutes, I'm going to show you the 3.5 keys that grew my business to consistent 5-figure months, as well as my client Rio, who went from no offer and no systems to over $100,000 collected in just 4 months. At the end of this video, you will leave with the perfect call out for your ICP, a nurture plan to film this week, a 5-line DM script that books in qualified calls, the perfect handoff that raises show rates and inevitably increases your sales. No bullshit, just real examples that you can implement into your biz today. So, before we crack on, hydrate, get yourself a snack, go to the toilet, and make sure you have a notepad and pen, or something you can take notes on. There will be interactive parts to this video to ensure that you guys can start moving and quick. Here's what we'll cover. Key 1, attention, how to attract the right buyers and repel the wrong ones. Key 2, nurture, how to create trust and desire before the call. Key 3, conversion, how to book and close £5,000 to £10,000 clients without pressure. And the final key, service delivery, the bonus that keeps clients paying, staying, and referring. We will install one asset in each key during the session. So, part 1. Most pipelines fail because of the first 5 seconds. You're posting, you're trying to run ads, but your call out is unclear. You sound like everyone else, so buyers keep scrolling. Here's the call out formula that I want you to use. Who, pain, mechanism, or vehicle, payoff, and filter. Again, who, pain, mechanism, or vehicle, payoff, and filter. Here's an example for coaches, and it's also mine. Who? Coaches at 10 to 15,000 per month. Pain, only 0 to 2 calls per week. Mechanism, the magnet funnel. Payoff, 2 to 5 qualified calls per week. Filter, no cold DMs and no giant audience required. When we put it together, it should sound something like this. Coaches at 10 to 15,000 per month with 0 to 2 calls per week. Watch this. I'm going to show you how the magnet funnel books in 2 to 5 qualified calls per week without a large audience and ever sending a cold DM. Another example for health coaches. Health coaches with a loyal audience but inconsistent sales. Your problem is not effort, it's messaging. Watch how we switch your first 5 seconds and book 2 to 5 calls per week purely from your stories. Now you have an understanding of what your call out should consist of. Let's build it together. Take 30 seconds to fill in the gaps on the screen that you see right now and build your call out. Once you've done that, put it together using the examples I just gave you as inspo. Speak it out loud. Mean it. Make sure it feels right. You must have confidence in your call out. If you don't believe it, then your prospects definitely won't. Now we can turn your call out into a DM trigger. A DM trigger is a 1-sentence story prompt that invites a response. Side note, I place these at the end of my story sequences in order to start conversations in the DMs. Here are 3 examples that you can copy. Trigger 1. I just created a 3-step plan that gets you 5 qualified calls per week without any cold DMs. DM the word magnet if you want it. Number 2. If you start most months at 0 clients, I recorded a 5-minute breakdown to fix it. DM the word plan and I'll send it. Number 3. If your followers never buy, it's because of your call out, not your content. I can prove it in one example. DM the word proof and I'll send it across. To get the best out of the new attention that you capture, you should be posting at least 3 story sequences per week. Side note, don't be a full-time salesman. From what I found in my experience, it normally puts your prospects off as they feel like they're nothing to you but a lead. Provide value first, tell stories, and give the source away for free. The trust you build with your prospects will make selling on the back end so much fucking easier. With that in mind, there are benchmarks that you should be aiming for. 3 to 700 story views should be pulling in anywhere between 2 and 10 replies. If your story views are double that, then you should be looking at double the replies. If your replies are under 2, your call out probably isn't sharp enough, so go back in and make changes, and also add a filter. For example, make money online, payoff, without doing any work, filter. And yes, that's obviously a stupid statement, but you get my point. Moving into part 2, nurture. Now that we've nailed the call out and have our ICP's attention, we need to nurture it. Nurture turns eyeballs into trust, and trust shortens our sales cycle, meaning we can get more people to pay us quicker and more consistently. There's plenty of ways to nurture our prospects. The 2 that I found the most effective are long-form YouTube content that educates and Instagram stories that build connection and relatability. Side note, you still have to post consistent reels and images on your page. Tell stories and share insights to your life to build connection. Provide value to position yourself as an authority in your space, and show your results for social proof. For long-form YouTube videos, follow this structure to get the best results. It also makes it 1,000,000 times easier to plan and shoot your videos. First, we need a title that promises a clear outcome and a timeline. An example of this is how we booked 5 qualified calls per week in 14 days without cold DMs. Then in the video, we need a problem section that names the 3 costly mistakes, a mechanism or vehicle section that explains your system, a proof section with 1 case study, and finally a clear CTA that invites your viewers to take action. This can be a booked call in the description, a comment, or even just to subscribe. If you don't tell your viewers what to do, they probably won't do anything. Here's an example of a video structure that I would follow for my offer. Hook in 10 seconds. Who, pain, payoff. 2, problem, weak call out, no DM triggers or a broken handoff. 3, a mechanism or a vehicle, the magnet funnel, attention, nurture, conversion, delivery. 4, proof, my client Rio, who went from 0 systems to $100,000 in 4 months. 5, CTA, comment money if you like money. Now we have the YouTube content covered, let's get into how to actually create story sequences that convert. See, most coaches think Instagram stories are just a place to share random updates, but when structured properly, a story sequence becomes one of the most powerful sales tools in your funnel. Why? Because stories are where your warm audience pays the closest attention. They've already chosen to follow you, and if you can take them on a short, structured journey, you can turn casual viewers into daily DM conversations and daily sales opportunities. This is the exact 6-step framework we use for our story sequences. First, we need to stop the tap. Stories work in the same way that reels do. If we can't grab someone's attention in the first slide, they'll just leave. So we need to open with a bold statement that makes the right person stop tapping. An example of this is, if you're a coach stuck at 10 to 15k months with only 0 to 2 calls per week, this is for you. Next, we need to create connection. Show them you understand the pain they're in right now and expand on it. An example of this could be, I used to post daily, rely on referrals, and start every month at 0. It was exhausting. Now that we have their attention and we've built connection, we need to showcase that we are no longer feeling the pain they feel, that we've turned a page, and it's all down to this thing, the thing being our mechanism or vehicle. This also positions us as an authority because we were where they are and now we're not. An example of this would be, after years of grinding, I finally cracked it and built a system that finally made clients come to me, with a slight introduction of your mechanism. Then we reveal the mechanism in all its glory, like a sales rep taking the robe off your brand new Lamborghini. We call it the magnet funnel, built on 3 keys: attention, nurture, and conversion. Now that they know what helped us to turn the page, we need to provide proof that it's worked for others and of course that it can work for them too. Example, Rio had no offer, no systems. 4 months later, over 100k in sales. And finally, we finish with a direct and confident call to action. Example, want to add 20 qualified calls in 14 days just like Rio? Reply start so we can schedule in our call. The reason this structure works is simple. Attention stops the scroll. Relatability builds trust. Authority makes you credible. Mechanism shows your USP. And proof removes doubt. And then finally, CTA directs the energy into action. When you hit all 6 in a sequence, you've taken a stranger from curiosity to belief to action, and all in under 90 seconds. Let me show you how I would put something like this together. So, if you're a coach stuck at 10 to 15k months with only 2 calls or 0 to 2 calls per week, this is for you. I used to post daily, rely on referrals, and still start every month at 0. It was exhausting. After years of grinding, I finally cracked it and built a system that finally made clients come to me. Intro to the magnet funnel. We call it the magnet funnel, built on 3 keys: attention, nurture, and conversion. Rio had no offer, no systems, but 4 months later, over 100k in sales. Want to add 20 calls, just like Rio did in 14 days? Reply start so we can schedule in our call. That is a high converting sequence. Make sure that you take your time with your story sequences. Really take people on a journey. Select images that match what's being said in the copy and present everything clearly. It's no good having a great story sequence if people can't read it. Side note, Make sure to proofread everything twice. There's nothing worse than posting your sequence and instead of a lead showing interest, they're spell checking you. It's definitely not a good look. Run this 6-step framework 3 to 4 times a week. Mix it up with free value CTAs and also direct book a call CTAs. This will help build extra trust and make selling easy as fuck. Now, it's time for our second mini exercise. Let's outline your next authority-driven IG video. Using the same exact framework, I want you to script an Instagram talking head video. Remember, hook, relatability, authority, mechanism or vehicle, proof, and CTA. Side note, a way you can do this efficiently and at scale is to create a custom GPT, tell it everything about you, your offer, your client's pain, their ideal outcomes, and everything in between. Once the GPT knows who you are, who you help, and how it works, tell the GPT to create 15 short-form scripts using the 6-step framework that I've just provided. But don't do that just yet. Save that for after. Trust me, there's still plenty more source to come. Now, a quick note on numbers. For your nurture content, you need to be tracking these 3 metrics. Hook, hold, or thumb stop. Are people actually interested in the first 3 seconds? This is a trackable metric on Instagram Insights, by the way. Click to DM. How many people did we start conversations with off the back of this video? And then DM to call. How many DMs resulted in booked calls? For your hook hold, you should be aiming for 45% retention in the first 30 seconds on YouTube and 45% for the 3-second view rate on Instagram. Click to DM, aim for 1 to 3% of viewers to DM your keyword, and DM to call, aim for 30 to 50% of qualified conversations to book calls. If your numbers are lower, your call out is probably not specific enough, your proof is too soft, or what you're asking is just unclear. Great. Now, let's get into the fun stuff. Conversion. This is where most coaches lose money. They treat the DM like a mini coaching session. They treat the call like a debate. Both create pressure and invite stalls. We use a 5-line DM script. It's simple, it's clean, and it moves the right people to a call and fast. Line 1, acknowledge and restate their goal. Line 2, ask one qualifier about the problem. Line 3, ask one qualifier about the timeline. Line 4, give the plan in 1 sentence and invite the call. Line 5, offer the slot and ask for the best email and phone. Now I'm going to say it in full, like as if I was writing it. So, line 1, thanks for reaching out. What are you trying to achieve in the next 90 days? Line 2, what have you tried so far and what is not working? Line 3, if we build a magnet funnel for you, would you want this launching in the next 2 or 3 days or after that? Line 4, I can show you the 3 changes I'd make in 10 minutes to get you to XYZ goal. Want me to walk you through on a quick call? Line 5, great. What's your best email and phone for the calendar? Boom, invite. Keep the tone simple, no paragraphs, no voice notes. Be short, but don't be rude. High-level entrepreneurs don't pour their hearts out into their Instagram DMs. They're just too busy for that. And even if you aren't, one day you will be. So stop moving with that kind of aura. So, once we've booked the call in, we need to make sure that they actually show up. Here's an example of a strong handoff email which you can mold to your offer. Your call is booked. Quick heads up. So we can use our time well, please watch this 7-minute video before the call. It explains the 3.5 keys and shows Rio's results. Side note, this is also a further qualifying video, making it clear that time wasters won't be accepted. Bring your current offer title and your top 2 client pains. I will build your call out live on the call. Side note, this gives them something to do in between the DM conversation and the call. The guys that show up with their homework, more often than not, are more serious about moving forwards. Knowing this gives you a slight edge when you're starting your close. Side note of the side note, if they show up without the homework, it's the first sign that they don't respect you, unless they have a really good excuse. Regardless, whether they close or not, this client is probably going to be hard work. Add a calendar invite and add a text or email reminder on the day of and the day before. Keep the language friendly and direct. These are the benchmarks that you should be hitting with your show-up rates. 60 to 80% for warm leads, and then 50 to 65% for your cold leads. If your show rate is lower, your reminders are probably too soft, you didn't pre-qualify enough, or your booking call window is just too long. Side note, you can easily bump your show rates up by only having the next 72 hours available in your calendar. This massively helped me and my client. The side note. Have as much availability in your calendar as possible. Don't try looking busier than you are. Be available, take more calls, close more deals. Simple as that. Speaking of closing deals, let's move on to the call. We want to close without pressure. Here is the simple call structure. Open with context, take the frame, keep the frame, and confirm the goal. Diagnose the problem in 5 minutes. Prescribe the plan in actionable steps. Show one proof that matches the prospect situation. And then invite the next step, i.e. close. Remember, sales is a listening game. A lot of people with low sales experience assume to be a good salesman you need to keep talking until they buy. But this couldn't be further from the truth. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. So we could do twice as much listening as we do talking. Let your prospects sell your own product to you. Ask questions that get you the answers that you need to get the deal done. A couple examples of these questions are, what would adding XYZ monthly profit into your business mean to you and why? What would happen in 6 months if you kept doing XYZ instead of taking action? Then, when and only when you feel like the uncertainty that they had, if any, has gone, you push for your sale. This could go something like this. If I help you build a magnet funnel over the next 90 days and we hit 2 to 5 qualified calls per week, is there any reason that you would not want to move forwards today? Let them answer. If there's an objection, handle it, and then close. These should be your targets in regards to your close rates. For fully qualified leads, it should be anywhere between 30 to 50%. And if your average client pays between 5 and 10,000, 2 to 5 sales call per week moves you from 10 to 15,000 per month to the next level. And quick. Now that we've closed our clients, we move into part 4, the bonus, service delivery. Delivery is the hidden growth lever. Poor delivery increases churn and kills referrals. Great delivery creates profits and case studies which you can use to remarket to get new clients. Now, I did actually have some stuff written down for this section, but in honesty, it's irrelevant. Your service delivery is bespoke to your service. Over the years, I've onboarded clients and got them shit results. It happens. Not because I didn't care or I didn't work hard, but because I wasn't actually an expert. But you guys don't have to worry about that, right? Because you're all beasts in your space. A very well-established marketeer, Ben Heath, told me this, and it's stuck with me ever since. Whenever somebody buys something from you, in particular a service, they just want to feel like they've made the right choice, you know? Like you've got them covered. Like they don't need to worry. And that's exactly what I recommend doing. You only get one chance at a first impression, and it sets the tone for the remainder of their experience working with you. So just don't fuck it up. A seamless onboarding process is the quickest and easiest way to put your clients at ease and ensure that the first impression is a good one. Right, now that you know I can talk the talk, I want to show you that I can actually walk the walk. This shit works. So instead of showing you a client transformation, I think it's better that I actually show you my transformation. If you've made it this far into the video, it's only right that I give you some more insight into me and my journey. So let me run you through the exact steps that I took in my own biz. Like some of you guys, I was lost. Not sure how I was going to actually build a business that I was proud of. Fed up of not knowing where my next client was coming from, so I took action. I invested $10,000 into myself, which was shortly followed by another $6,000. I know it's a lot of money, but it's money that I needed to spend to get myself to where I am today. So I invested and I got to work. In week 1, we defined a premium offer with one outcome, one timeline, and one mechanism. The magnet funnel. I optimized my page so all the traffic knew exactly what I did, who I did it for, and the results I got doing it. I created a story sequence framework that I followed and used 3 times per week, and we installed the 5-line DM script and handoff. Moving into week 2, I filmed long-form nurture content and got it out quick. One being a client breakdown, one being a free training, and the other being lifestyle, which spikes curiosity, builds trust, and relatability. We launched our ads to broad audiences to test winning and losing creatives, posted authority-driven value content on short form, again, continued posting story sequences to drive attention to the DMs, and then on week 3 and 4, we refined the ads based on the data we received. We saw replies rise from 1 per day to 8 per day, calls booked move from 1 per week to 5 per week, and we actually closed our first high-ticket clients, which actually resulted in my first ever 10K day. None of this was magic. It was a clear call-out, consistent authority-driven content, simple DM lines, a clean handoff, and consistent delivery. This is where your notepad comes into play. Let's craft your call-out out right now together. So, write these 5 lines. Line 1, who do you serve? Line 2, the pain that they wake up with. Line 3, the mechanism or the vehicle that you use. Line 4, the payoff and timeline. Line 5, the filter to qualify. I'll give you an example so that you can copy and use it as some inspo. Coaches at 10 to 15,000 per month with 0 to 2 calls per week. This is for you. Introducing the magnet funnel, which books 20 qualified calls a month in 14 days without ever sending a cold DM and having a big audience. So simply replace coach with your niche, replace the pain with their words, replace the magnet funnel with your vehicle, with your mechanism, keep the payoff realistic and time bound, and keep the filter honest. Take 60 seconds, write it, say it out loud, and feel the clarity. Feel free to pause now so that you can actually get a feel for it, you know? If it doesn't feel right when you say it, well, it's probably not right. You, of all people, should feel confident during your call out, because trust me, if you're not, why would your prospects be confident in it? They won't be. So make it yours. Hit the pause button, give it a go, and then when you're ready to go, let's crack on. Now, let's create a story sequence following the 6-step framework to drive leads to your DMs. Remember, attention to stop the scroll, relatability to build trust, authority, which makes you a credible source, your mechanism, which is your USP, your proof, which removes doubt, and a CTA, which directs the energy into action. Your CTA trigger should be a simple word that correlates to your offer. An example being, for me, it's magnet, right? Magnet funnel, magnet marketing, magnet. Post it 3 times per week for 2 weeks. Side note, throw in some variations to your sequence and only have a hard CTA push once a week. The other 2 should be giving away source for free, lead magnets, training videos, etc. Finally, your numbers plan. Here's a simple model so you can know what to expect. Target 2 to 5 qualified calls per week. Aim for a close rate between 30 and 50%. Price between 5 and 10K per client. And at the low end, you'll be taking 2 calls per week with a 30% close rate and 1 client every 2 weeks coming on board at 5,000. That's an extra 10,000 in your business. At the mid-range, let's say, you take 4 calls per week on a 40% close rate. About 1.5 to 2 clients per week come onboarded, so that's 7 to 10,000 per week in cash collected. This is why the magnet funnel is the vehicle that helps people just like you to scale. It's not just about volume, it's about clarity and consistency. These are 3 things that I want you to do next. Your 3-step plan from this training. Step 1, publish your new call out and 1 story sequence today. Do it before you close your laptop. Step 2, film 1 YouTube nurture video using the outline that you wrote earlier. Hook, mistakes, mechanism, proof, CTA with a keyword. Step 3, install the 5-line DM script and the calendar handoff exactly as was written before. If you want help installing the full magnet funnel and you want to move fast, the link in the description books your free strategy call in with me. Yes, the call is free, but working directly with me and my team comes at a price. If you aren't ready to take action and invest into yourself, please save us both the time. Don't book the call. But in the meantime, subscribe to my channel, binge my content, and I'm sure we'll work together soon. You've already proven that you can work hard. Now it's time to work smart. Get paid what you're actually worth and build a business that works for you, not because of you. So, subscribe, watch the videos on my channel, and for you go-getters, the link is in the description. Book your call, and I'll see you inside. Peace.